woensdagavond, dus weer tijd voor een countdown special. Vanavond een van de meest kleurrijke mensen uit de popgeschiedenis. David Robert Jones, beter bekend als David Bowie.
We were a duo. It was Bowie and Hutchinson. And just before we went, about 2 or 3 days before we went in to do Space Oddity, he said, "Nah, man, I got a wife, I got children, I've got to get back up to Yorkshire, which is the north part of England. And I've got to get something going up there. This rock thing is never going to pan out, man. It's not going to happen."
Opzienbarende uitspraken van David Bowie en een overzicht van zijn grootste hits en films. Bowie is een van de meest succesvolle zangers, acteurs, componisten en producers aller tijden.
Now, it might have been a limited appeal compared to a lot of other artists, but I've had my fair share of success. And I'm incredibly grateful about that, but it doesn't run my life.
De professionele carrière van David Bowie begint in 1969 met de wereldwijde doorbraak van Space Oddity, gevolgd door Gene Genie in 1973, een nummer geïnspireerd op zijn vriendschap met Iggy Pop.
Detroit, very much my first impressions of seeing Iggy Pop in his home environment, which is a trailer van in a trailer park, and the ways to dodge around during the night. it was very much Iggy's song. Heroes, again, well, I can't escape the fact that very much was Berlin for me at that period. I mean, the changes there, so substantial, so awe-inspiring. Still very hard to take in that's happened over there. It's in such a far... When I was living there was no doubt in anybody's minds that wall was going to be there for at least the next 50 years. There's no way that wall was going to change, you know? It was a joke, that would be down in 40. If I said that would be down in 14 years, forget it, it's got to be another 50 years. Incredible, absolutely extraordinary. In the very beginning, you know, I'm amazed that I got away with what I did. I had nobody, because they never had any better ideas for me. They just said, well, yes, all right, we'll put that out then. What you mean with the red hair and those shoes? You want to go with those shoes? You really want to go with the shoes, David? Yeah, I want to go with the shoes. I never had a problem with that. The only time I really had a problem with a company was back in the days with RCA, when I'd finished Young Americans. And they had such a big album with that album that they just couldn't come to terms with what I was going to be doing next. And when they heard things like Low and Heroes, I mean, I got such depressing... well, they weren't faxes in those days. They were what was before faxes, son? Yeah, telexes.
Pigeons.
Yeah, in those days, pigeons. They sent a pigeon with a note round its leg that said, "Please go back into Sigma and get funky again and do that kind." I mean, they literally sent me a telex asking me to go back to Philadelphia and record there. We can't stand your new music. What are you trying to do? You know, I said, I'm trying to have fun and keep active and be inventive and just explore music. I don't want to do another Young Americans. I did it already. You know, I did it. Let's Dance. Having something which I felt had absolutely no future, seeing that being taken and shaken by a producer, made into something unbelievably commercial. I mean, for me, it was just a song on the album, Let's Dance, and it was okay, but it was no great shakes. But then Niall got hold of it and did these horn arrangements and all this and made it sound like this disco thing. And it was like, and it did all this business. I mean, it was complete and utter shock to me. I just couldn't believe it.
Maar het beviel je wel.
Oh yeah, it was marvelous. I was radiant. I was over the moon having that kind of success. It was terrific. Because up until 1983, I had the biggest cult audience in the world. I mean, it was just, I had an audience, and it was quite big, but it was a cult audience. I was never kind of over the, and that kind of made me mainstream or overground or whatever, and I've had problems with that ever since. This is not America. Giorgio Moroder is a very good producer, but he pipped me to doing the soundtrack for Metropolis. That annoyed me terrifically. We were doing that song in the studio. And he wrote the music, I wrote the lyrics. And he said, you know, David, Brian Eno and I had been working on the idea for doing music for Metropolis for quite a long time. You know, the old silent movie by Fritz Lang, yeah. And he said, I saw this wonderful film in New York a few weeks ago, Napoleon, you know, but Coppola, his father, did the music for it. Silent movie, fantastic. I said, yeah, I saw that. He said, well, I found an old film, I'm going to do one. I said, what do you mean you found an old film? It's this old German film. He said, it's great, it's called Metropolis. He said, you've got to go see it. what do you mean you're doing it? He said, I bought it, I'm doing the music, I've got Queen playing in on it and everything. I said, oh, you've got Queen playing on Metropolis? And all my music, it was, because I'd loved that film ever since art school. Had so much to do with my stage lighting in like '76 with Station to Station and all that. And I couldn't believe, oh well, that was that song anyway, so I remember that song. It was an excellent movie, by the way, I must say that. Yeah. I thought Sean Penn was truly excellent in that movie.
Yeah, right.
It was a really good performance. I don't think so, I think we've done enough to get that. That was, yeah, one record, that's all, you know. I mean, that was just, I mean, that was for your cause, you know. I mean, it wasn't, it was a very light throwaway thing, that, you know. I mean, the fact was that it was a good thing to do for Live Aid, but I don't think, I mean, I think we'd prefer to remain friends.
Oh.
If you're like me, who gets bored very quickly with an idea, it's a luxury to be able to say, oh, we've done that, let's do this, you know. God, this is exciting, let's do this. But you've got to do that. No, I'm not going to do that, let's do that. That's much better. So that's, for me, it's fun. I make an album, and it's successful. I never do an album, the next album is nothing like it, which depresses a lot of the companies that I've been with. But it's given me a lot of fun and a lot of freedom to, as an artist, to explore all kinds of avenues of music. There's creations now, like the old late 50s, early 60s bands, like New Kids on the Block, say, the American band, where the music is there to create a vehicle for them. I mean, it's not, surely they can't be in love with that music that they play. You know, I mean, you can't comprehend that, oh, this is our life. Get out of here. You know, they're cute boys in tight jeans. I mean, it's about selling to that particular market, you know. It's just like early Osmond stuff, you know. Osmond's music wasn't their life. It enabled them to get a TV show, you know, and all that. It's like, that's all that whole early 60s syndrome. Whether you want to make music because you want to make the music, or whether you want to use the music to obtain fame, if you want to use it to become famous, then you just be shallow and it'll be superfluous, you know. But if you're doing it because you want to do the music and fame comes out of it, that's a whole different thing.